Welcome back to Kyle's Garage. I'm Kyle Smith with Hagerty, and today it's a return to the automotive projects, specifically the Austin Healey. And I'm going to dig into the interior and get a few things tidied up that have always bothered me about this car. Let's dig into it. Now, the interior of this car is actually fairly nice. If you look at the seats and the door panels, even the dashboard's not that bad. However, the carpet and a couple of the other bits and pieces are pretty tattered. Specifically back here in the back seat, this is all loose and it's just kind of in terrible shape. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and go through and replace the carpet in here because this car came with a carpet kit. So you can see this is all loose and in the way. This is all terrible. So I'm gonna get in there, pop the seats out, and we'll paint all of these surfaces, get some things sealed up, and get it looking better than before. The starting point for this is went ahead and put the back end up on jack stands just to make things a little bit easier on myself with how low this car is. Then I'm gonna remove the bolts that hold the seat in from down underneath. And it's pretty easy, there's just a couple hanging around. So we'll get a good 1.5 socket on there. Looks like these have been replaced at some point in this car's life. I'm a little curious to see what's going to appear underneath these seats. Just like that, we've got the seats out. Get a little bit of a look at the floorboards. We can see just how bad everything is. This has some kind of reproduction seatbelt on it that's just huge. Doesn't seem like it's really meant for this car. This is actually in better shape than I expected, which really isn't saying much, but regardless, still kind of a nice surprise. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything pulled out and see what's underneath. And from in here, you can really see why I'm not restoring this car. It's because it is pretty crunchy just about everywhere. Metal on metal under here, which I don't quite understand what's going on here. But we'll have to get all of that out of here, or as much as we can. So this is the part of the video where we have to have what my mother called a heart-to-heart. By taking this carpet out and wire brushing around a good bit and vacuuming and cleaning everything out as well as I can, I've uncovered some bad news. And that is, at some point, someone laid metal down inside the floor pan and welded it up in a couple spots and seam sealed it in a couple other. There's even pop rivets in a couple odd places, and all it's done is cause a nightmare of problems because it's trapped moisture between those two layers, and that's just allowed it to just fester and wreak havoc on a lot of the corners and little spots of this car. So should I cut out all the floors on this and put in new metal? Maybe. The hardest part about this is it doesn't make sense for me to do that. The whole piece of this car is that I enjoy driving it and not having to worry about it. And it is pretty rough. But at every corner that I turn, it turns out to be even rougher than I thought. That's life at some point. That's playing with old cars. This is 51 years old. And the fact of the matter is, it's not going to be pristine when you get underneath of it and it's been hacked on by a whole host of different people. And so in this particular instance, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm gonna paint many of these surfaces. I might even install a little bit of sound insulation, especially back here. And then I'm gonna put new carpet in it. And should I ever sell it, I'm gonna be very upfront with the buyer that it's got some problems. And if you want a restoration level car, you're gonna be doing metal work. But for now, I'm gonna get to painting on some rust preventative stuff and getting a few of this scuffed out. And then we'll see what we can do. So let's get to scuffing and getting some metal work done. So I've got that rust preventative down, and I've got to wait for that to dry before I can put the carpet in. So that's going to put a wrap to this episode. You should go out in the garage and work on your projects. I'll see you here in mine next week.